Good morning, everybody, and welcome to our quick interview this morning with what we consider one of the most important individuals who's making connectivity for our students and staff at our school. My name is Dean Packard. I'm the proud principal of Bay Path Regional Vocational Technical High School, and I have alongside of me Mr. Jim Tripp, our vocational director. Jim, how are you on this wonderful winter morning?
I am great, Mr. Packard. Happy to be here.
Outstanding. Jim, you and I often talk about when we have an opportunity to showcase the great things we do at school, how important it is for us to make sure this happens. Today, we have an opportunity to speak with Jibrael Younis of MassHire. Jibrael has come on as the head of our advisory committee. I'm super excited. We're super excited about that. And why don't you talk a little bit about advisory and what that means first and foremost before we bring Jibrael on?
Sure. So as part of the success of vocational programs across the state and across the country, we rely heavily on the input of our program advisory committees. So each of our 23 career technical education programs has their own advisory committee consisting of representatives from industry, employers, could be co-op employers, post-secondary representatives from colleges, a parent, a student, of course, the instructors, labor union representation. We have a pretty strong advisory committee here. Each program, again, has representatives from each of those sectors. In addition, we all get together at least twice a year and collaborate on best practices, on curriculum, equipment, supplies, materials. They provide us input to help shape the programs for the future and do what's best for students. And super thrilled to have Jibrael on board as the General Advisory Chair. The General Advisory Chair essentially heads the General Advisory and helps steer us in the right direction because we can't do it alone.
I love that. And I'll tell you what, we're not doing Jibrael justice by us talking about him. His energy, his affect, he came through our building, he met our students, met our staff. We are just super excited to have him. So I'll tell you what, let's bring him in right now. Jibrael, let's hit that button. There he is. Welcome to our show. Welcome to our interview. We're super excited to have you, Jibrael. Talk to us, my friend. How are you?
I'm doing really well, Dean. Thank you guys so much for having me. Thank you, Jim. I feel great today. I got to tell you, this winter's been a bear, but I am hanging in there. I'm just back to work after a stint out of the office as well and just getting thrown right back into it. So I'm glad I'm bringing the energy here too. We all need it right now, but yeah, I feel great. And again, thank you guys so much for having me on. I appreciate it.
Got it. Nirvana, what's that all about? I tell you, we have that lead-in song, that walk-in song.
Yeah,
it's perfectly for you. What's the take on that?
Well, I'm a 90s kid, grew up with it, I guess, hearing it in the background. So I could tell you a little bit about me. My dad, actually, he was a mechanic, auto mechanic for about 40 years here in Worcester. Worked at a Meineke car care center on Park Ave. That was our family shop for, like I said, better part of 40 years, four decades serving the folks in Worcester. I'm sure, half of the vehicles in the Worcester area have been serviced by my dad at some point. And so they always had grunge music on when I was a kid. I'd be in there helping him cleaning out the bays. I used to get paid, I think it was like $2 an hour or something when I was a kid, just pushing them broom around, helping them around the shop. So it's what I grew up with. It's what all the guys listened to, all the really cool guys that I looked up to. So yeah, it just stuck with me.
I love that. I'm a Van Halen guy. Jim, I don't know what decade were you, Jim? We want to get this right.
Well, I was born in the 80s, but
80s. All right. 90s, late 90s. I love that. Hey, Jibrael, very quickly, what is MassHire before we even get into this?
Sure, of course. So MassHire, we're known as MassHire Central Career Center. We're part of the American Job Center Network. And in the state of Massachusetts, we're part of the MassHire network of career centers. So MassHire is operated and there's oversight from the Department of Career Services of the state of Massachusetts. We used to have a bunch of different names, all the different career centers, maybe about 10 years ago or so. We used to be known as Workforce Central here in Worcester. But then the state said, hey, we all need to have similar branding. So now all the career centers, there's about 30 of us across the state, all fall under this umbrella called MassHire. And we basically were able to get a lot of our services into standardization, right? Making sure that we're giving the residents of Massachusetts all the same services across the entire state, no matter where you are. But we're still divided a little bit in terms of the regions that we serve, because Worcester has a different economic environment than Boston does, than Pittsfield does, than Lowell does, right? Than the Cape. So everyone has a little bit of a different flavor as well, if you will. But we have two career centers here in the central region, one in Worcester and one in Southbridge. And what we do is we support anybody in the community who's looking for work, whether they be unemployed or if they're employed and they're just looking to enhance their employment. So you could be a student, you could be someone who's never worked before, you could be a seasoned professional with a master's degree, doctorate degree, it doesn't matter. It runs the gamut. We can serve virtually anybody with their employment needs. And we also serve businesses too. So any business that's in our region can come to our MassHire Center or get connected with us, and we can connect them to different business incentives. So there are a lot of grants through the state, sometimes even tax write-offs, or just help them with their hiring needs, right? We have this huge pool of job seekers we're supporting, so we can refer those talented workers to those employers and kind of bridge that gap for them. I know Valentine's Day is coming up, so we're a bit of a Cupid in a way, if you will, right? And making the partnerships happen.
That's awesome.
Awesome.
Jim.
Mm-hmm. So Jibrael, you came on board as our general advisory chair this past fall. What interests you most about stepping into this role, and what excites you about becoming part of the Bay Path community?
Those are great questions. So, well, I'll step back a little bit and just kind of talk about my relationship with Bay Path as well prior to this role. So through MassHire, we had a couple different ways that we worked with Bay Path. First, it was through your nursing program, the LPN program, that I know is no longer running right now, just as of late. But we had a great relationship with you guys through that. Through our federal grants, we were able to support some of our job seekers and some of your students with paying for the funds. So we would cover about like half the price for folks to take those courses, the adult courses for LPN. And that was such a great relationship because we saw the benefit of those people taking your program and how much it helped their lives, and then how much it helped our community. Again, healthcare is one of the biggest needs, if not the biggest workforce need in central Massachusetts. So it was a high priority for us to get more nurses out there, more healthcare professionals. And working with Grethel and Dr. Bolandrina, she was just such a great person. She was always so warm and welcoming. You guys took such care in promoting the opportunity to work with MassHire, to go to that program. We would be in the newspaper, you guys would do press releases, we'd come for pictures, you guys would occasionally give us gifts and like little thank you cards. And it's not like we're doing it, for that reason. It was just, you guys showed so much care and appreciation for the support that we offered your students, and vice versa. So at that point, I knew that Bay Path was a special place. And then we started to develop an even more enhanced relationship during and after the pandemic. The American Rescue Plan was developed through the Biden administration in 21. That gave a lot of workforce investment funds to the state of Massachusetts. And that took the Career Technical Initiative program, which had been out there, but was really kind of not really well utilized across the state. And it just like blew it up, right? All of a sudden, all these vocational high schools have all these funds to draw from, offer adult programs at night at the school, bring in all these new trainers, or just extend the hours of their current staff. And we were able to serve, I mean, my God, between you guys and other programs in the area that we worked with, hundreds and hundreds of adults to go get upskilled in vocational skills, right? Trades. So the relationship just deepened even more, right? The more I worked with you guys, the more I just realized you guys are a place of excellence. I think that's the perfect word to sum it up. You guys care so much. You do everything with integrity. You do everything to the best of your ability. You guys take it the extra step, always pushing the envelope, trying to get better. And it's like, for me, who would not want to be a part of that? So when I was asked to be on the advisory board, I was like, that's a no-brainer for me. I live in the community as well. I live in Leicester now. I'm a lifelong Worcester resident, but recently living in Leicester. one of the towns that you folks serve. So it's like, I can give more to my community by doing this role. It fits well with what I'm already doing. I hope to bring value to you guys. But again, you guys already had something so great going. That's why everyone jumped on the bandwagon for the Patriots this year, right? All of a sudden they're a great team again. Everyone's a fan again, So when you have momentum, when you have success, it's attractive to others. People want to be a part of that.
I love that you use the word excellence. I think I'd add one more. It's excellence and opportunity.
Sure.
At Bay Path, we are blessed. We have 23 career pathways. We have vocational education and academics blended, which presents opportunities for students to create a bridge right into that career pathway opportunity.
Yes.
So,
Yes.
you've had the opportunity to come through to our school, walk through our hallways, walk through our shops, meet our staff, meet our students. What was your takeaway when you had that opportunity to do that? I mean, obviously there's energy, there's excitement, and I use that word opportunity, but what was your takeaway?
Yeah, I mean, well, first of all, I was like, man, I'm glad I'm in shape now because I walked for like 5 hours through your gigantic facility, all those different programs with Jim. No wonder he's in good shape,
Keep up
walking
with
around that big facility. Yeah, I was impressed. I guess I didn't realize how many programs you had because, again, my reference was really the adult programs at first. And I knew we had about 7 to 10 different CTI programs that were running in the evening. So I was familiar with those. And I just, out of ignorance, I just didn't realize how expansive all your programs were. As you mentioned, 23 different programs. When I got to come in again, I'm walking through, I'm just seeing the technology, I'm seeing the equipment, I'm seeing the passion of the teachers that you guys have there. That was probably the biggest thing that stuck out to me is like, those people seemed passionate about what they're doing. They brought the energy, they brought the excitement. There was like no burnout among your staff. It's huge, right? People weren't complaining, big smiles on their faces. The kids were happy, the kids were engaged. I remember my days in high school, we were not as engaged, trust me. So the teachers were not as engaged. I mentioned too, a couple months ago when I was with you guys for an advisory board meeting, I went to some really great schools. I've been blessed, college, post-grad. Yeah, that's the kind of level of engagement and excitement I would see and expect from those places, like your Boston College, et cetera, right? You guys seem to have that as well. So, that's what stood out to me. Yeah, just the equipment you guys have, the facility is great, kids are engaged, and I think, again, what probably makes it the most special is probably those teachers and just how excited and happy they are to be there. It seems like they've found their purpose in life, their calling, and they're living it.
They
You
own
can
it.
sense that.
Yeah, it's a sense of pride, and we're very
Yes.
fortunate with the staff that we have. So thank you for
Yes.
recognizing that, and thank you for picking up on that energy. Because
Yes.
that's what drives us throughout the day. There's no doubt.
Yes.
I think it's important. I think I can take this opportunity to thank Jibrael and MassHire for their help in helping us write grants, not only for CTI to expand access to our programs for adult learners, but also recently we opened Diesel Technology, and your input was essential in us obtaining the grant funding to purchase the equipment, supplies, and refurbish that space for Diesel Tech. So it's a great partnership.
Thank you.
But I'd like to move on.
Yeah, of course. I was gonna say another big need, Diesel Tech, of course, in our area. But yes, yeah, we're glad to help you with that as well.
We're always
There's 10 students in there right now making a difference. Here we go. Let's go.
We're always looking for future opportunities to expand and offer more seats because, as we know, recently with freshman placement, there's popular shops. Our shops are popular, and we have quite the wait list. I think everyone knows we have a wait list of students trying to get into the school. So, but I will move on. Artificial intelligence. Let's talk about artificial intelligence and how it's impacting careers in the industry. And how do you see artificial intelligence affecting local industry, and how do you see Bay Path's programs thriving in this environment? And what do you see the impact being?
Well, right now where we're seeing AI really impact jobs, there's a couple different things. One, obviously, is automation in certain areas. Logistics sector is experiencing a lot of automation. Think your Amazon, right? we've seen that for the last couple of years. They were really one of the first to make headway there, as they should. They're such a major, tech company, as well as just the logistics aspect of what they do. Um, we started to see that about like 3 years ago, even 4 years ago. Just like as the pandemic started, they were already on the ground, building their infrastructure in their Westboro location, and we started to see that change the workforce dynamics. And it really opened up our eyes. It wasn't this past the holiday season, but the holiday season before that, they didn't come to us asking for any workers. And usually they're banging down our door like, we need to hire 300 people. And like this facility, they did not come to us. It was crickets. Same thing with FedEx, same thing with a lot of different places. So it started there. And then it started to permeate elsewhere. We're seeing it in IT. A lot of IT folks, their jobs are changing, or the labor market's changing around IT, but the skill sets that are needed for these folks to be competitive is changing. They really have to have an AI competency or background in knowing how to operate those systems. Entry level, whether it be entry level food service, entry level logistics, as I mentioned, customer service, a lot of things are being taken by AI. Even at MassHire, we were, exploring and still are exploring getting an AI chatbot for our website. And we're like, this could help us with phone and email communication. We may not have to. So that's just, we're not talking about replacing anybody just yet, but maybe that leads eventually to not needing a front desk person. Maybe we wouldn't lay anybody off, but if someone left, just natural attrition, maybe we don't replace them. So that's how that kind of starts, right? It's not overnight, but this is moving fast. So again, entry level positions, a lot in logistics, a lot in IT, entry level food service, retail space, customer service. You're seeing it kind of getting hit there. Your guys' roles and positions, so many of them are hands on. They need the human intelligence, they need the nuance, right? Especially any of the hands on programs. AI is great as long as you're at a computer and you need something that does it, through a computer, but they're not robots just yet. So they can't be your CNA. They can't be your HVAC technician. They can't be your plumber. They can't be your electrician, right? They're not going to show up at your house and fix things. You could try to go on ChatGPT and fix it yourself. I would not recommend that, as trying to do electrical yourself, right? Call a professional. So there will still be a need for seemingly decades for these hands-on roles. Again, you guys are getting the youth of our area, of our community, well equipped with skills that will be in demand for years to come. They will not be replaced by technology. There will always be that nuanced human intelligence that needs to be there, whether it's cosmetology or whatever it is, the animal veterinary services, whatever you guys have, it's secure. And again, it's really helping these guys, because what would be their options otherwise? Many of your students may go into college, but many of them may not be able to have that opportunity. College is so expensive, right? So it's like you could go to college and be encumbered with debt for the next 20, 30 years. I know that route, right? Or you could, or you could not have a vocational skills trade and then try to make it somewhere out there, but now there's less entry level positions to start, so it's extremely competitive. Or you can come out the gate with a skill and competency somewhere where that can give you immediate employment and gainful employment, and that's through the trade skills. So you guys are really giving a clear path, and a clear path to success, and that success being, again, gainful employment for your students, and really helping, again, our workforce, because this is where the needs are as well in our community. We need those skilled laborers and other trade skills folks out there. So yes, it's good. I don't think AI will impact it now, but it could also be part of the job for some of those jobs, like graphic design, some of your, not the electrician program, but the electrical program that you guys have, making like robots and things like that. That could be part of it. So I would say folks should figure out how to use AI to adapt into their skill set, but it definitely will not replace it.
I look at AI as efficiency. We're
Yes.
never going to take away skill-based needs that are out there, and that's what we're providing for that next generation of the workforce. So again, we all have to embrace AI for what it's going to do for us to just to
Yes.
maximize efficiency around everything that we do. So, Jibrael, with
Yes.
my next question, how do you see your role with MassHire strengthening partnerships between employers and BayPath? How can you
Well,
be that middleman? What's Jibrael going to bring to the table?
yeah, I'm trying. So, that's something that we're well poised to do at MassHire. So, I'm an operations manager here. I oversee our business services team, which is a group of currently right now 3 individuals, 2 business service representatives, and a recruiter. And what we do is, again, we are on the other end of the spectrum from the job seeker services. We just do business services primarily. We engage area businesses, understand what their workforce needs are, and try to provide solutions for that, whether it be direct referrals to more niche positions, or if they have multiple openings, we engage them in job fairs. We promote that to our job seekers. We invite talented job seekers that can meet those needs and make sure that they're coming. And like I said, connect them to other incentives, including pipelines that they could draw from for future workforce development. Baypath would be one of them, right? So you guys are a gigantic talent pool of young workers that are coming up with the newest skills and standards to meet the workforce needs, right? You guys are giving them the most up-to-date skills that these employers need now and tomorrow. So one thing that we have been.
Oh, I think we lost Jibrael for a second. We'll get him right back in here. There we go.
There we go. Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you. So yes, one thing we've
That
been
wasn't
doing, I know.
activity. That just happened. So we made that happen with our skill set. So
Yes,
take
there
that.
you go, right? That wasn't AI. Maybe AI kicked me out, but you brought me back in.
There you go.
So yes, we've been working with Jennifer, who's in your workforce development office there. We've been trying to support her with one of the career fairs that you guys have coming up. I believe that's on, what is it, March 13th? Off the top of my head, I believe.
13.
There you go.
Yep.
So right now, I've been talking back and forth with her, like, hey, where do you need more representation from different fields, right? To match the 23 programs that you guys have. You guys are like Baskin and Robbins, right, with all your flavors. We need to make sure that we have employers just to meet all those needs. So what areas or fields are you struggling with in engaging employers to get them to come to this event? She gave me a little list of about 6 different programs that we would love to have. She said more employer representation from these groups. And then I kicked that off to my business service rep who covers your area, who has the relationships with the area employers. And I had a meeting with him yesterday and connected him with Jennifer, and they're supposed to be meeting today to talk more about which employers would be good to invite. And then we'll start making those requests. And that's not something that I would do just because I'm on your advisory board. That's something that MassHire does as part of our role anyways. I just want to make that clear. We would do that for a lot of our different partners, that have these different talent pools, right, in schools, of course. And the same thing with CTI. I work with Marcy in your CTI program there. She's a CTI coordinator, as you guys know, but our listeners, that's what she does. And same thing. You guys have another event coming up that's on the 25th of this month, and we're trying to engage employers and get them to come and really build the relationship with you guys. I think, and I hope I'm not jumping ahead here, but one thing that we want to do, or I want to try to do, is help you guys establish enough relationships. It's almost like an endowment, right? In a way, it's almost like you're living off the interest. You may not need MassHire as much to do that kind of legwork for you if you have that ecosystem of employers where you guys have those great relationships. So I can use my rapport with the employers now to help you establish a rapport, and then you guys would kind of nurture those things and steward those relationships. So you're self-sufficient, right? I think that's the goal. And you guys already have such a great connection to a lot of employers. You have so many great connections. So that ecosystem is there. I'm just maybe stocking the pond, if you will, right? I'm trying to get some more fish in there for you to draw from.
Good stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's surprising how strong our advisory board is, but it's also surprising to hear how many folks don't know about the opportunities that we have to offer here, not only for the
Right.
high school students, but for the adults as well.
Yeah. Yeah, that's exactly it. It's a win-win for everyone, Jim. Like you're saying, it's a win for MassHire because we're doing what we're supposed to be doing. This is our mission. It's a win for you guys and your students, and it's a win for the employers. The employers want to make sure they have people right out the gate that are skilled. I understand that students may not have the most experience, but they do have experience when they do the off site work placements that you guys do. Um, the co-ops, thank you. So I mean, they're coming in. I think, the culture that you guys have really does emphasize to the soft skills, right? And again, I don't want to jump ahead. Beyond those technical skills, the employability skills. I think Dean, you're going to ask me about that, but those soft skills are so huge right now.
Sure.
You know.
Yeah, I think
So,
we should jump right into that, talking about soft skills and aside from the trade skills, what do you think is most important in today's job market?
every
What
time I talk to employers, it's always about soft skills, soft skills, soft skills, soft skills, and to go back to the Patriots, sorry, but I think it was Bill Parcells said that the best ability is reliability. So that's, and that couldn't be more true in this day and age. The dynamics have changed. I think the pandemic kind of changed our culture a little bit. Workers really want flexibility, and that's fine. But employers are really looking for reliability, dependability, and also too just people with good communication skills, people who are attentive, people who can follow directions, people who can carry out their work assignments without issues. I can't tell you how much more work it causes a manager like myself, to not have someone who can do the job efficiently and thoroughly, but then also to kind of deal with whatever other personal issues this person may be dealing with on top of it, right? A worker. That it's like a double whammy. I think a lot of employers are experiencing that. That's what I keep hearing. So soft skills would be paramount. Again, just communication skills, follow through, work ethic, dependability, reliability is just as important as those hard technical skills right now in our workforce. And again, I think you guys have a great culture around that, from what I've seen. So yeah, you're getting your kids are out there and they're as mature as some seasoned workers, right, in terms of their work ethic and soft skills. So that's great.
And that's one of the things we really focus on is developing those soft skills prior to them leaving us. That puts them in I'll call it a head and shoulders place above the other employees that are coming into the workforce. So
Yes.
thank you for touching upon that. So aside from the soft skills, let's really just dig into now the technical skills and employability skills. What do you find that to be, or what are the most critical in today's workforce that you see that we need to make sure that we have our student body ready for?
And so in terms of other hard skills that maybe don't relate to the specific trade.
Yeah. Aside from the soft skills, we get those soft skills. I
Yeah.
think technical is technical. You got hours, you got codes, you got all kinds of
Yep.
things you have to do. So what do you see as the focus from a technical or employability part of we'll call it the package for students going out into the workforce?
Sure. Well, I mean, on top of that too, like again, imagine, let's put myself in the shoes of a student, right? Let's say I'm doing HVAC. I know how to do all the technical parts of that job. I can fix your burner, whatever, okay? Then I have my soft skills. I'm going to make sure I am following through. I have good communication. I am, talking with my supervisors and the customers. I have those good customer service skills. I would say customer service skills are one of those soft skills that should be there.
Yep.
But then also too, yes, we mentioned AI before. People need to have some basic computer skills in this world, right? So like that's a base requirement almost for everybody. You're going to need to know how to use your cell phone and the apps. You're going to need to know how to get on a computer and do email. You're probably going to need to know how to run some kind of point of sale system, right? There's a lot of these things out there that are part of our day-to-day interactions and jobs, that we need to know. I would say heavily on just all things computer, technology, email, point of sale systems, especially if you're in, food service, culinary, hospitality, these kind of things, retail sales. Um, and if you're working behind a computer on a daily basis, you're going to need a lot of little, software tools that you're familiar with. So I couldn't emphasize computer skills more um, for kids right now and just anybody looking for work. That's the way our world is going.
Yeah. Relevant real world opportunities, connectivity pieces, all that stuff. And that's what we're really focusing on. So, Jim, you got our last question. A lot of fun here today. I love this.
Yes. No. So we're super excited to have you on board, Jibrael. Obviously, our partnership, your partnership with BayPath, goes well past the you coming on board as our general advisory chair. You talked about not only the LPN program, the CTI program for adults, and now you're all in with the high school students as well. So as we conclude our segment, what is your vision for this partnership in the future? How do you see it growing, and how can we continue to make a difference, not only for career preparation, but for skills development and serving the community? Multiple parts there.
Yeah, no, that's okay. So again, I kind of mentioned helping you guys just continue to build your ecosystem of your employer network. I think that's huge. I would love to get it to a point where, again, you guys have you're in a position where you don't need to stress about those co-ops. You don't need to stress about even pulling in employers for your career fairs and things like that. Like, they're lining up, right? Let's get it like almost like the reverse recruitment or the reverse job fair that you guys have going on too. Let's do that, right? Let's reverse this need and this interest. I want it to be where you guys are turning people away because you got too many employers coming at you looking for your folks. That would be ideal. That's going to take some work though, and I know you guys are working on it, and I know we're working on it too. How else can we develop things? Well, I shared some labor market information with you, Jim. Right now, it looks like nearly all of your programs still have, as we call them, they're hot or trending, right? There's still a lot of needs in our workforce for skilled workers. Over the next decade or so, there will be jobs open concurrently every year. But where else do we have needs in our workforce, right? Where else can you guys develop new programs to meet more needs? That's something that we can discuss together as we go and just kind of get you guys in touch with more of those, forecasters, if you will, the prognosticators at our workforce board, at the state, to say this is likely where our entire workforce is moving towards, and this is where we'll need workers, not just today and tomorrow, but 10 years from now. This is kind of the skills that we're going to need. If we can look that far in the future, because that'll help you guys develop those new programs, right? I think those would be two major things. Again, just any other relationships that I can support in your area. I know you guys oftentimes need or would prefer to have some kind of donations to you in terms of, like, I know you're looking for a new diesel truck for kids to be pulling apart and fixing. So connecting you to employers that might be able to provide that, whatever other resources you may need. So yeah, grant development, future workforce needs, and kind of setting up those programs so that we're ahead of the curve in meeting those needs, and just strengthening the employer base so that you guys don't have to go out of your way to find somebody. They're coming to you. They realize the value that you bring, and they're looking to you as a very reputable and resourceful partner. And, that's it. They would come right to you instead.
Well, think about that for a second. That's good stuff right there, Jibrael. Thank you so much. Your partnership with yourself and MassHire and building the bridge out into the communities and the networking. This is what life is all about. You're as good as your network. And I always tell that to kids or anybody I talk to. Surround yourself with people that are going to bring you up and open up opportunities for you. So excellence and opportunity. We started the show with that. And for you being on today, Jibrael, thank you so much, man. We appreciate you. We look forward to a long-standing relationship. And, again, just want to say thanks. Jim, any closing words?
Yeah, no, I look forward to the future of growth here at BayPath with you, and helping evolve our current programs but also hopefully expanding access to additional high quality CVT programs here at Bay Path. So I'm excited.
Me too, you guys. Thank you so much. Again, it's been a joy so far. I appreciate, all the generosity that you guys have given me in your time, and just kind of helping me educate myself about your school. And like I said, you guys, your passion and the excellence and the pride, as you said, Dean, it's infectious. So thank you for letting me be part of the community too. Thank you.
There you go, right there. Jibrael Younis from MassHire, leading in with Nirvana, going out with Nirvana.
Awesome.
There it is, everybody. Have a great day. Stay on the call, guys. We're going to end the stream right now. Take care from Bay Path.